In the motel, Sam has found the Scandinavian Mylings, which he says are vengeful spirits, but he didn't find anything about frozen hearts. And he says we all know lore isn't 100%. I mean, maybe yours isn't 100%, but mine is. So here is lore. So Myling or Mylingen or Mylingar in Swedish translates to murderling or murdered small child. They are called Urtbird in Norwegian, Urtbird in Icelandic, and some unpronounceable words in Finnish. The word Urtbird has a double meaning. The prefix wit can mean both out and extra, which is similar to the English uses of out, like an outhouse and outcast, or outrun and outdone, versus outbreak, which has both meanings. So out can mean like a lot of things. And so that's what it means. And the Norwegian verb bird can mean born or birth and or burden. And so the combining, it means outborn, birth, or extra burden. Which is not a great thing. I think murdered small child, though, is kind of a little more on point. So already dark, but bottom line is if a child is killed before it was baptized and or not buried in consecrated ground, it comes back as a creature that cries a lot and wants to either be named, be buried in a holy place, or in just in general rip people to shreds. The child's death was usually caused by a mother who could not heat the child for whatever reason. For example, it could be it was going to be born outside of matrimony. She had too many children already. It was really ugly. Just a lot of reasons that they would just leave their children out abandoned and left to die in forests. The early Norse Christians made laws to specifically prohibit the disposal of unwanted children. It was such a problem. Once you do like the murder of a small child, you have to hide the corpse. So the corpse would be hidden somewhere like a pond or the forest. And that's why there would be like spirits trying to lure people to the forest by the crying. Sometimes they cry for as many years as they would have lived if they had not been murdered, which is a very bizarre number.
That is a weird number.
Isn't it?
So if they were going to live to be 50, and they died at 2, they would cry for 48 more years?
Yeah, but how would you know? It's just a weird fate thing.
Right.
So they do look like pale, creepy little ghost children. And sometimes they have that distorted ghost face and they're often transparent. They have been described as being emaciated or fucked up to show how they died. They can also be saved by giving them names if they were unnamed or if they were not buried in holy ground. If you bury them in holy ground, that can rescue them from their fate. In some versions, they do sing of their fates and name their parents so they can be punished. And I hate creepy singing ghost children, and snitching singing ghost children is even worse. And so, they're just sitting here being like, Brenda and Paul, they're the ones who put me under the ground. Or I can't rhyme that. But there really are so many versions of these stories. In another version, they jump on travelers' backs and they demand to be piggybacked to the holy graveyard. And then as a person gets near the graveyard, like they become increasingly heavier. So the increased weight like causes the person to collapse and then the myling just eats them. But if you make it to the cemetery, the myling kills you and eats you anyway. So you can't really win if the myling jumps on you. If the myling finds their actual mother, they will tear out their breasts with their claws or kill the mother through breastfeeding.
That's distressing.
They sure are.
Distressing. I don't like it.
And the last tidbit about these creatures, if the mother, I read 2 more. So this one, if the mother marries, when the wedding dance starts, a voice will come up through the floor. Vessels are narrow, legs are long, and I want to dance again. Then the ghost child rises from the floor and dances them on to death. Fuck that kid. Like, I would just be like, yeah, no, that poor ghost child is getting kicked across the room. But, okay, so one last thing, there's another kind of version of these things called the Natra Minar. And that is instead of turning into ghosts, the dead children turn into ravens. and they're only visible at night. They fly west to east, and they never get closer to the ground than the height of an ox. I'm not sure which ox is the standard ox height, but that's as low as they can go. And they sound like an old wagon wheel creaking when they fly, which I just think is. And there's also a picture in a book of like this raven with like a little child's head. It's very terrifying.
That's distressing too.
So
it's like a raven with a kid's head?
With their kids.
But that only flies like 4 feet above the ground. He's like, kill everyone who says.
Like that's like next to your car, right? So it's just like, you're driving at night and you just look over and you just see this
Like
little
right next to him, looking at you, flapping his little wings. That's terrifying.
It is
Holy
terrifying. So yeah, those are the Mylings, and that's what Sam thinks that these little creepy boys.
That's what's happening here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios podcast network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.